This is News Talk 820, WBAP.
We were just talking about judges getting older and having to retire at age 75, but the pandemic has, we're finding, caused some harm to the brain health of people who are 50 and older. Leigh Richardson is a licensed professional counselor and founder of the Brain Performance Center. And Leigh, this study that was done, they had more than 3,000 people answering questions about the cognitive decline. And it says that they're basically losing brain power, whether they had COVID or not. How is that even possible?
Well, you have to stop and think about it. There's 4 things that put the brain in a dysregulated state, and that's losing brain power, is dysregulation. 1 is genetics, 2 is physical head trauma, 3 is emotional trauma, and 4 is stress. And COVID brought more emotional trauma and stress to all of us than we've seen in a long time. I mean, with the shutdowns, and I think that the lockdowns, the study talked about a little bit, that the restrictions that were in place really had a lasting impact on brain health.
When you talk about the emotional side, we'll talk about the stress here in a minute, but the emotional side, what are we seeing as far as some of the symptoms, I suppose, of the emotional stresses? What were the root causes on those? Obviously, COVID caused them, but, can we identify what some of those emotional issues were?
Well, I think that the isolation is a bigger cause, and the effect of that was loneliness and depression. We couldn't get out. A lot of people were gyms. My gym shut down for a while, so we couldn't get out and we couldn't exercise. One thing we could do is stay at home and drink more wine. And
yes,
I think that we're looking for comfort. We're looking to be calm. So that would be a very natural thing to do. And I think those are the things that really had a bigger impact on the cognitive decline. That social isolation, and you couldn't, let's say you have parents that you couldn't even go see, and they used to be part of your life on a weekly basis, and you can't see them, you can't connect with them. All of that, if you create emotional dysregulation, it's going to create cognitive dysregulation.
Leigh Richardson is a licensed professional counselor and founder of the Brain Performance Center. Why is this result exacerbated in people over the age of 50, and why not see this throughout all different age groups?
Well, and honestly, I think you probably did, but let me answer your question. Brain's not fully developed until you're in your mid to late 20s. 30s are rocking. The 40s, maybe you start to plateau. The 50s is when you start to get a little vulnerable, that maybe you're going to experience some cognitive impairment. 60s, maybe it's cognitive decline. But that's when the brain has a philosophy: use it or lose it. You quit using neural pathways, and the brain the brain puts off enough energy to light a small light bulb, but it needs every single bit of that to run the brain, the body, make everything happen. So if you're not using it, the brain will just redirect that energy and send it in a different direction. And I think that age 50, from a brain development standpoint, is a time of vulnerability.
Leigh, when you talk about use it or lose it, is it lost for good, or is there anything we can do to exercise our brain and sort of build that back up?
Oh, absolutely. You can create neuroplasticity in the brain, and neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change. And you can do that. I try to do something new every month. The last thing I've tried, and this is going to keep me stuck for a while. I'm a right-handed person, and I've been using my left hand for my mouse on my computer. And it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But I keep saying I'm creating neuroplasticity in my brain. So there are things that you can do.
Leigh Richardson is a licensed professional counselor and founder of the Brain Performance Center. Is there anything we should be looking out for as far as understanding it ourselves? Like maybe we don't understand that we've experienced some of the decline. Should we, are there sort of signs that we can go, this thought isn't coming to me as quickly as possible. I need to start using my left hand.
Well, I think that any time that you feel like, why didn't I remember that? What's wrong with me? When you start having that type of conversation in your head, stop and look at your lifestyle choices. Are you taking care of your sleep? Are you staying on a sleep schedule? What about your nutrition? You think like you eat. If you're eating a lot of junky food, you may have some brain fog. So pay attention to those behavioral changes that could be red flags, and sometimes they can be very simple. A self-correction will fix that problem.
Yeah, one of the things I hate about getting older, Leigh, is that I have to diet and exercise like I was taught when I was younger, and the consequences are far more significant if I don't. So I just hate that. I hate that, Leigh.
Well,
I don't know how we can change that, but I wish we could find a fountain of youth so I can go back to eating more burgers and not walking the dogs or something,
Well, you can still have a burger. You just have to walk the dog, too.
How about 2 burgers and no walk the dog final offer? What do you think? All right.
Well, how about no fries?
No fries. No, that deal. Leigh Richardson, a licensed professional counselor, founder of the Brain Performance Center. Leigh, always love talking to you. Thank you for your insight and your expertise on the human brain. Thank you so much.